Hey guys, Sarah Ansboury here, and what we're going to talk about today is a very common word used in pickleball, apex of the ball. A few years ago when I started playing pickleball, the concept behind the third shot drop was kind of like a high apex. That was even kind of lower. I mean, it was high, and it was basically like a lofty toss situation. Okay, and what it did to that ball is it would kind of bounce short. But the problem with that, in a sense of what we're doing now with the ball, if that person's got a high apex on their third shot drop, what that's going to do on this side of the court is bounce high for your opponent. So if your opponent just wants to let it pop up and come, you've got lots of options. So now what we're looking at is, don't think about the apex. Think about the target on the other side of the net. If I'm going to hit a third shot drop, I actually want to think of it like a long dink, okay, versus a high lofty ball. So if my partner's going to feed me that ball, okay, that was definitely not a good third shot drop, okay. Okay, it's still pretty high, so that's too high in my opinion for me. Okay, a little bit better, but that's still landing fairly deep, okay. So, better, not good enough. There we go, that's the one. So right there what you've got is, it's a forward motion, and that ball is landing on the other opponent's side, but it's not as super high, so you can almost see that trajectory going forward. What that does to the third shot drop is create a much more offensive shot versus the shot that gets you to the net. It's the shot that creates pressure, creates opportunity, and does all sorts of things. We focus way too much on these very tiny things, like how high do you hit it, and the speed, and how do I do all these things. Always focus on your target and follow through. So a simple way to work on a consistent third shot drop is actually think of the cross-court angle. The longest distance will make your shot a little more offensive and aggressive. It's actually very difficult in this short distance to keep that ball low and unattackable. If I've got my partner on the other side of the court, now when I'm hitting that, it's going to create a longer trajectory and a much lower apex over the net that creates more offense. I've got a lot more room for error if I mishit it or have any troubles with the ball. If I'm hitting it this short distance, it is a much more difficult shot actually to stay low and offensive. So think about tossing the ball long to your partner, okay, and even getting that shoulders involved. Okay, there's your motion that you're creating. But essentially when my partner is giving me that ball, okay, I really want to think about extending all the way towards my target. I don't want to create this motion. This is what we used to do a little bit more, is a lifting motion, because that often even pulls our weight backwards. Think of a very long dink that you're extending towards, and what I always think is take a picture right here, let the ball clear the net and get it down. If you stop and shorten that motion, that will create a higher ball. So don't focus on the apex, focus on where your target is on the other side of the court. Work that longer distance so you feel very confident in that third shot drop, and don't put so much pressure on it. Okay, it's a shot that you're hitting nice and long and slow, essentially the same as a dink, just a longer point of contact.